नमामि विघ्नेश्वर पादपङ्कजं ॐ श्री महागणपते नमः ध्यानं समर्पयामि ॐ श्री महागणपते नमः आवाहनं समर्पयामि ॐ श्री महागणपते नमः आसनं समर्पयामि ॐ श्री महागणपते नमः पाद्यं समर्पयामि ॐ श्री महागणपते नमः हस्तयोः माधवाय नमः गोविन्दाय नमः विष्णुवे नमः मधुसूदनाय नमः त्रिविक्रमाय नमः वामनाय नमः श्रीधराय नमः ऋषिकेशाय नमः पद्मनाभाय नमः दामोदराय नमः ॐ श्री लक्ष्मी वेंकटेश्वराय नमः नाम पूजां समर्पयामि ॐ श्री लक्ष्मी वेंकटेश्वराय नमः गन्धं समर्पयामि ॐ श्री लक्ष्मी वेंकटेश्वराय नमः कुङ्कुमचूर्णं समर्पयामि ॐ श्री लक्ष्मी वेंकटेश्वराय नमः हरिद्राचूर्णं समर्पयामि
We'll do a quick sound check and then we'll start with the workshop, then proceed to the concert. So the workshop is whatever you want it to be. So be ready with your questions if you have any doubts, if you want to ask anything specific. I've just been told to give a talk on concert planning and what goes into doing a concert. So if there's something associated with that or something else you want to ask generally in terms of manodharma or concert planning or compositions or whatever it is, then I'll try to do the best that I can if I know the answer to what you are asking. I'll try to answer that. So first we'll quickly finish the sound check and then we'll proceed. And we have Vidwan Balakrishnan on the Mridangam. He's come all the way to speak back. You can't do a small introduction, it's a big introduction.
Yeah, I think to all present here, a very good evening. So on behalf of SVK, myself Neeraja, would like to welcome all of you for this wonderful first flute concert conducted by us. So we feel very honored to have both of you here. Okay, now through the talents of our eminent artists, we aspire to immerse all of you in the world of enchanting ragas, thalas and bhavas, and that have been enthralled by musicians. In today's program, we have Dr. B.Vijay Gopal as our Carnatic florist, and Dr. Mr. SG Balakrishnan G.
He's also doctor.
Oh, doctor. Okay.
Different doctors,
yeah. So he's accompanying him on the Mridangam. So we extend a very warm welcome to both of you. Thank you so much for giving me time. So before we begin, a small note on SVK. So we are SVK, which is Stikting Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, and we are a non-profit organization. And we have a vision to bring in the spirituality, peace and harmony within the Indian members and Hindus of Sanatana Dharma here, and we want to celebrate every day with tenets of the Dharma to be followed here. And our vision here is to build a cultural center and a temple. We want to build a temple complex too. The work is in progress. It's about 2 years since we've commenced this organization, and we are putting one step forward every time. And so once again, a little bit of extension of the introduction. So I just want to introduce them a little in detail. We have Dr. B.Vijay Gopal, who is a A-grade artist of All India.
Top grade.
Yeah.
It's changed since you started the introduction.
Yeah. Of All India Radio and a panel member of ICCR, which is Indian Council for Cultural Relations. He's a qualified doctor and a postgraduate university topper and a gold medalist in the field of orthodontics. So he started learning flute at a tender age of 4 and gave his first flute recital at the age of 6. It was his great fortune that he came under the guidance of Padma Vibhushan Shri, Umayalpuram Sivaraman since 2003, and he's been blessed with the opportunity to be accompanied by the legend in over 50 concerts. So being an accomplished singer, he brings about authentic vocalized style of flute playing. His training and expertise in vocal music has enabled him to blend seamlessly the intricacies of both vocal as well as flute patterns and gamakas in this instrument. So his transposition techniques allow him to explore more above and below the 2.5 octaves of a normal flute that permits. So amongst the plethora of awards that he has received, just a couple of them I wish to mention. So he's been rewarded as the Best Flutist Award from Mylapore Fine Arts in 1998 and Asthana Vidwan of Kanchi Shankara Matam in 2009. So it's definitely a privilege for us to have him so close by and witness the wonderful performance that he's going to give us today. Now, another small note on Dr. S.G. Balakrishnan G, who is also a graded All India Radio artist. He received tutelage from his father Vidwan Surali R. Ganeshamurthy when he was 8, and later he underwent rigorous Gurukula training from great Mridanga Vidwan KALAIMAMANI Sri Mushanam Raja Rao. He has performed at prestigious venues such as Narada Gana Sabha and Krishna Gana Sabha in Chennai. He has also been performing in Europe since 2011, and he's accompanied stalwarts like Lalgudi G. J. R. Krishna, Srimati Lalgudi Vijay Lakshmi, Flute Maestro B.V. Balaji, and many more. So we would now commence the show, and let's go.
So, do you know what you want to hear? I mean, not the concert. For the workshop, anything in particular, any specific topic you want me to talk about, or this general concert, pattern, concert plan, or how to plan a concert, how to play a concert, what is a raga, whatever. I number the Thani number one. He's a flutist, so he's only thinking about himself, which is very rare because very few flutists exist anyway. So we will talk about that. Okay?
How can one begin with Raaga Lakana?
Okay. I'll first collect all the questions. Okay, if there is any, so you have to ask questions, otherwise you are making my job really easy. I'll start playing. So anything else? Okay, we'll talk about how to develop Manodharma in terms of the different aspects, say Raaga, Swarams, Meral, Tanam. So that is a complete workshop in and of itself. But anything else you want to know? Should I do like school pick one? So you have to ask one question or something like that? No, nothing. That's all. You all know. Okay, so then I'll start.
I'll ask a question. So, apart from developing a Manodharma, do you have when it comes to a professional presentation, do you have an artist to follow a particular template, which is what do you call a success formula or something like that?
I think there are two aspects to that. See, one is we have what has now become a concert paddhati or kacheri paddhati, which was, as most of you know very well, was given by Arikodi Ramanujayar. So he started the whole, before him, I've heard that people used to randomly sing Krithis, or the order of, there was no real order, there was no, first of all Vinayakar, then you proceed, and then towards the end there's something called a Tukda, and then a Tilana. So he was the one who made the concert format. And when it became a big hit, and he was also really well known for packaging his concerts. As in, he never really sang a Raaga Alapana for more than 7-8 minutes, or even shorter than that. He was known for really crisp presentation of ragas, 3-4 minutes, and then he packed a lot of compositions, different languages, and that became a really success formula, which a lot of other people kind of adapted into their singing. So that's how it became a norm. It's not like the norm can't be broken. As you all know, there are people who are doing that. Successfully or unsuccessfully is up to whoever decides what is success. But it definitely can be done. It's a question of reading the audience, what the audience might like. But I don't think you can drastically change overnight. I mean, I don't think if I play a Tilana and play a big ragam and play a Tilana and he plays a Thani avarthanam, you will be very happy going back today. I mean, unless the food is great and then you forget about the concert, you think, okay, fine, yes, the food was great. But generally it takes a little bit of time. You can start with like maybe experimenting a little bit. Personally, I would like a lot more diversity in terms of what is presented in a concert. Like the theme, like I would like to see stuff like Rabindra Sangeet or like take poets' work like Bharatiya. There are so many other great poets who've talked about a lot of other things, the philosophies of the Indian systems and compositions based on that. You can very well tune that and present. And as an instrumentalist, I definitely think there can be a lot more focus on the sound itself, on the aspect of music itself, rather than just focusing on compositions. We can, like, for example, I believe every ragam can have any mood that you want to present it in. Right? I don't believe Shubha Panturali has to be like sad, has to convey like a certain singular mood or something like that. We were just having the conversation. By the way, Uma, you might all know this concert is happening mostly because of her, through her efforts. She's a wonderful singer and she's also one of the main organizer of my Europe concert tour. So we were having a conversation about Pause Bachchan, the music director Pause Bachchan's composition in a Malayalam movie where he has used, she told me this, I didn't know, he has composed all the songs from Shubha Panturali. Okay, so which was fascinating, and one of the songs was sung by Vidushi Bombay Shri. And all the songs, apparently the director wanted it to be in Shubha Panturali. So obviously the mood is slightly different from one song to another. And famous music director Mr. Neeraja also has mentioned that you can present a ragam in any different form. Like if you want to present it in a really like languid, slow, like a dreamy landscape, you can do that. If you want to make it sad, you can make it sad. You want to make it happy, you can make it happy. So having said that, there is a lot of scope for how we can just present a ragam itself or a ragam based composition. Like if you ask me to present like a composition in Bilahari, it doesn't have to only be like Dorakuna or Haridana Vichate or any of the famous compositions. You can do a piece specifically, curated for a concert and kind of build around that. So there is a lot of flexibility, but it goes both ways. It is also what the artist thinks are boundaries that cannot be broken, and it is also with the audience, as to how receptive they are to newer experiences and where they think music can go. So I think it's a process that's going to take a little bit of give and take from both sides. I don't know if that answered your question, but it was a long answer. Yeah, so that's one. Anything else?
So you were also talking about compositions. So isn't there like a difficulty with instruments itself? Because when you are a vocalist, it's easy to like sing different krithis, maybe in like different compositions. True. People can understand that. Yes. But when it comes to flute or like any instrument, there's like that sort of a difficulty in conveying. Do you think that is this is also interlinked to the point which you mentioned? I also started saying you, because there is like also a musical aspect which can be like much better highlighted than an instrument in your opinion. But what do you think, like how we can maybe take this further from an instrument?
So that's a great question. It's a dilemma that a lot of instrumentalists, I wouldn't say it's a dilemma, it's a question that everybody faces. So there are two things. One is because we have the system of our music has become like a very lyric oriented system, we are expected to play songs that are either familiar as instrumentalists, because then people already know. I don't know how much lyrics everybody remembers, or even the artists remember. That's an open-ended debate. I mean, you can, if I know 500 krithis, do I know all the lyrics of all the 500 krithis? I may just know the broader aspect of what is being conveyed. Like if I play a Dikshadhar krithi, am I like, even with the audience, I mean, if I sing Akshay Linga Vibho, do you know all the lines of Akshay Linga Vibho? or can you confidently claim everybody, even in like a place, like the Hallowed Music Academy, everybody who comes to listen to the December season concerts, do they know all the lyrics of all the concerts, or do they understand all the lyrics of all the concerts? It's just, I think, a general feeling of like hearing those words, and being familiar, okay. Because I have heard concerts where the singer has like forgotten lines and mixed. Like I have heard a concert of one person, doesn't matter who it is, who started with Ramakatha Sudha and also like mixed in the lyrics of Balinja Kamakshi in between, like 4 lines of Balinja Kamakshi also came in. I mean, I would like to think it was a medley, but it's okay. I mean, like it's like a little bit of Rama, a little bit of Kamakshi, doesn't matter. All our gods are like very forgiving, and they're all divine. So it doesn't. So it does happen, especially when you play similar compositions. But for instrumentalists, it's always a challenge. I mean, I can't like there was this one time I played a composition called Shri Kamakshi in Vasanta. It's a beautiful composition. I've heard very few people sing or play that concert, but I learned it from my guru, and it's a great composition. So I played it once in a concert. Like most people came and asked, "The Vasanta la edo nalla irundhathu unga composition ah appadina like is something new that you've created." So that is always a challenge, and so my focus is that if people start enjoying the sound itself, the music for what it is, what the ragam does to you, like what the sound does to you. Of course, the sound being in pitch and in tempo, it should be a given. If that is the case, I think it will be great if every listener, including a musician, starts concentrating on what the sound does to them. Instead of thinking, oh, this Ramakrishna great. I mean, it is a moot point, but only to a certain extent. At the end of the day, you listen to music not because you want to become a scholar on Dikshadhar or Tyagaraja, or you want to know about like when he composed, where he composed. You want to listen to it because it makes you feel a certain way. Because the ragam can bring back some memory in your life or create something in you. So, and if you also know what the Krithi is about, which can be like something that spurs you on to go and learn about. If you once you listen to Ramakatha Sudha and then you go and read about what the spirit of the Krithi is and why it was written, when it was written, then it adds a lot more. It's like literature, right? I mean, you can talk about like a book in 10 lines, but you can also go and read the book and it will give you a much broader perspective. But I think given where we are now, it's best to pick songs which are familiar and also be able to convey like a whole lot of what you can in terms of manodharma on that. Like you can play something like Raghuvamsa Sudha. That's your reaction, yeah. So that's the point. Instead of saying there's another great Krithi called Raghunathan Nannu Marudavana, but that is again like it's in a ragam called Swara Ranjani. Equally good, equally lively, but a lot of people don't know that. So the responsibility is also like if I have a wonderful audience like you all. I'm scoring points already. Anyway, so if you are an open and receptive audience, I can try and say, okay, let me just play something, like let me do this ragam and maybe like talk about it a little bit and say this composition, Then it is easier for us also to bring out a lot of newer compositions, and there are a lot of musicians, instrumentalists actually, who have great compositions themselves. I mean, not to equate with what great composers have done doesn't mean if I play one of my own, I think I'm equal to Dikshadhar or something like that. It's just my interpretation of that ragam. Like there is a certain mood. Maybe I want to present Begada, which goes with the weather or the temperature or the greenery in Eindhoven, and maybe I want to present it through Begada. It will be great if you kind of, listen to it and appreciate or add your own meaning to it. So I think there is a lot of scope for what we can do there, but I think we can all be a little more open as listeners, is what I feel, from where we are, and that will help a lot of things, in a much bigger way. Yeah. So manodharma, yeah. So in terms of singing ragam, basically, I think from my personal experience, again, whatever I'm saying here, there's no right or wrong. It's my personal experience and my opinion. Okay, and I think you should all take any musician's statement as such. It's an opinion, that's why there is no, unless God comes and says, this is what it is, I think everybody just has opinion. There's no, because most of what we have was not written when it was done. Okay, so even Tyagaraja's composition is not exactly how we are singing it. It's undergone many different people's interpretations. So nobody can claim and say this is how Tyagaraja composed it. Okay, this is how we enjoy it today, and that's all that matters. Okay, maybe we'll enjoy it differently in 50 years' time. So that is another thing. So Manoj, I feel like ragam singing or playing is one of the most challenging and also the most rewarding experience in Carnatic music. I think once you master the art, when I say master, as in be confident and be sure that what you are playing or singing is reaching people. Obviously you can see that by the way they react. From there, doing any other kind of improvisation or manodharma becomes a lot easier, because ragam is especially difficult because it's too abstract. First of all, you only have like a set of notes, and you have some compositions that you may have learned, and with that you don't have a tempo. Okay, there's no prescribed tempo, but ragam does have a tempo. Like every phrase that you sing has like an internal tempo. I will just explain what I mean by that. And that keeps changing with every phrase you sing. Every part of the raga alapana has like a different inbuilt tempo. Once you master that, what happens is you get a grasp of both like abstract idea building, and you also get an idea of how you play around with tempo, right? So you are creating patterns. You are basically like there is a blank canvas and you are painting something, or you are creating something. You're creating a mood. You're setting a mood with a raga. So when you look at it like that, it becomes a lot easier than thinking about whether I'm singing correctly or not. Okay, it's not like there is a correct way of singing Kalyani, or a correct way of singing Thodi, or a correct way of singing Vrindavani. There are certain rules, but they are only frameworks. What you do with that, you can, again, this is my opinion, you can start Kalyani in any way. Like for example, let's say Kalyani. That's also Kalyani. It doesn't have to be that is also Kalyani. That is also Kalyani. Okay, a Kalyani doesn't really have to be this is like a template, right? Most people start Kalyani like that. This is like a very usual way of beginning Kalyani, which is like a very safe thing. People know it's Kalyani, people know you are singing Kalyani. But what it does is, you start thinking, if I don't begin Kalyani like this, people are not going to believe it's Kalyani. Okay, so that is where you start restraining yourself in how you think about raga expansion. Okay, so what I would say is, when you're thinking about improvising anything, don't think about the rules. Think about what you feel when you sing or when you play. Okay, obviously when there are imperfections, you try to sing that again. You have an idea in your mind. Okay, that doesn't always come out in your throat or your instrument. So try to build on that idea. Try to see what you are thinking, and then it's a story, right? Like this workshop, it's a story. I'm telling you a story. You're listening to it. I'm telling you from what you are asking. It's not like I have like a cheat sheet prepared and I'm looking at it and talking. So I'm going one statement at a time. I'm going one sentence at a time. I'm looking at you. I'm saying how many people are yawning, or how many people are like smiling, laughing, nodding your heads. Okay, then I know if you're nodding your heads. Okay, maybe I'm doing something right. So that is how a ragam is. You kind of build, and a reasonable template to follow is you go from the lower octave and go to points on a ragam where you can elaborate. So you can ask, like, why not? Why can't I, for example, like take an abogi, Sarigama sa sa da ma ga re sa. You don't see people like doing sancharas on ga. Sariga ta ta na da de de. So you can ask, why don't I do it? Why shouldn't I do it? Okay, you can do it. There's nothing wrong in that. But for your ears, does it sound Carnatic? Does it sound like, it is within the idiom of Carnatic music? Or does it sound dramatic and very like filmy or something else? There's nothing wrong. It can sound filmy. Okay? But are you going to be able to convince people that it's okay to sing like that or play like that? At the end of the day, that's what really matters. For example, so that re is a very familiar, because you have a lot of krithis, which land on re. Sabapatik ver devam samanamaguma kriga tillaita starts on re. So ma, da, and of course sa. So these are like points where you have repeatedly heard these notes being anchored by compositions mainly. So most of what we get as templates are even your varnam. That's why varnams are like a great source for phrases. Of course, everybody says this, but again, you don't have to restrict. This is just like these things are like essentially kind of skills that you learn when you are trying to ride a bicycle or something like that. But that doesn't mean you ride the same way you started riding the first day you learned. Right? After that, you do all kinds of things. You do wheelie, you lift your hand, you do it one hand, you turn the other side, and you can do all kinds of things. So the same thing with Raaga. In the beginning, you can take some crutches, like take some help if you're stuck. And the other thing is, don't think about what do I sing next. When you're singing a ragam or singing swarams are a little more easy, I'll come to that. But when you're singing a ragam, don't think in terms of, I'm getting stuck here, what do I sing next? So there are easy ways of doing that. Like, take a small portion, like any ragam, let's say Abogi itself. So you want to do some sancharas around re. So we'll take this as the crux, okay? Re ga ma ga re za ma ga re za re. So then what do I do next? Okay, I can't like suddenly rock it up and re ga ma ga za re ra. It sounds like a circus if I do that. So what do I do next within these set of notes? I'm playing the same, I'm doing the same notes, but just with a little bit of emphasis on which note I'm expanding more and which I'm contracting more. So same thing. Re ga ma da ma ga da ma 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 re sa re. Again, same set of notes. Da na na ra na na re na. Same. Re ga ma da ma ga re sa. I'm using the same set of notes. Okay, but it's just like a little extra here. It's like cooking. I mean, I can't cook, so I shouldn't be talking about that. I don't cook. But all of you who cook, you know exactly how it's a measure, right? It's an instinct. You kind of know. So you can practice something like this. Take 4 notes, 5 notes at a time. See what all you can do. Okay, there's no right or wrong. Okay, there's no re da ma da ga da ma. Nothing wrong. Re ma ga. Nothing wrong. So it's not like you have to go re ga ma. So try different combinations. Na ra. Use the same set of notes. You can take something very simple. Ta na na re ga ma ga re ga na na na. So it sounds like a different phrase. Like sounds like completely new, but the same thing. Just a little longer. Re na na re na na ta na. Again, re ga ma ga re sa da sa re na ra. Extra here and there. Re ga ma ga ma re ga sa sa re. So if you are having difficulty, try saying it as notes. Re ga ma ga re. So what can you do there? Re ga ma ga re. A little bit of pause somewhere. Re ga ma ga re sa re ga da ma re na na. So once you do that for like a 5-minute as a 10-minute exercise, then the ideas will start flowing a little bit more, a little better. Again, you don't stop thinking what do I do next. There's always something to do. Whatever you do is something else. Okay, like anything you say, anything you sing is a new expression. So try to be in that expression. If you are, if you look back, oh, what did I just sing? Then you're already like trying to build a template. Okay, your template is okay. I'm going to sing re ga ma ga re sa. Any ragam you can take any. Let's say Mangalam. Ga ba da 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 na. So this phrase. Da da na 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 na. Same. Ga ba da ga da pa ma ga. Use the same phrase. Ga ba da ba da ga. So I'm using the same thing, but when you listen, it kind of gives a different color. Right? The same set of notes. Na 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 re na da da na 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 re na 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 da re. You can use dynamics, okay, to give a difference, okay, volume, control of volume. You can use phrases that you have been singing all your life, your sarali verses, your janta verses, your dhatu verses, sa sa re re ga ga ba ba da, sa sa ba sa sa ma re ga da da. Everything, it's all a cheat code, okay. You can use any of these patterns. Sari ga re sa, sari ga ba ma ga re sa, sari ga ba da da ba ma ga re sa, sari ga re ga ba da ba da ni da ba ma ga re sa ni da, sari ga ba da sa ni da. And see, this is what I mean by tempo. When I say tempo in a ragam, every phrase has an inbuilt kind of tempo. When I say sari ga ba da, that has a different meaning. Sari ga ba da has a different meaning. Sari ga da has a different. I'm singing the same thing, right? I'm just cheating by making it look like I'm singing different every time. It's not exactly cheating, but it's like a different shade of a color. Same note, same red, but like it can be an entire spectrum of red, like very, 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 very minute differences, that you can only perceive when you are seeing the whole picture. Same thing with Raaga. And there are so many different things to play around. So, if you are aware of what you want to do, okay, let's say dynamics, let's work on dynamics. Na, 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 na. So that's a whole different color, the same things. So this this is like same. I have maintained the volume the same. So with little more. So the dynamics builds a lot of like character into what you are singing. It gives like there's a lot of drama. It's like playing with light. Like in films you see the background score, there is suddenly silence, there is light, and then the hero's face, the light is like this, it's a different feeling, it's like this, it's a different feeling, it's from behind. You see Rajinikanth, saying a dialogue like Navuru Dadeve Sunna, the light is behind. You see a silhouette and they're like, oh my god, Taleva, or whatever. So it's how you use the same elements to produce different things. And that helpful? What I'm, yeah? So then you take like different, like I said, you like take a ragam, you know which parts of the ragam you can do sancharas on. Okay? Most have prescribed. It's pretty easy when you listen to a song. The safest way to do is when you listen to a song, you see where the rests are, you know, where the stops are. You can safely take those points. You take something like Bala, Gopala, Gopala, Sani, Sagari, Re is a good point. Pa, Da, Na, 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 Shoma, so Re, Pa, Sa, all these are good points. Okay, like very rarely do you find in, I don't think there is any Krithi where you find like small da as like a sanchara point. Rega ma bada, you will find it nowhere. You know, da ma ga re sa rega ma bada. So, if you are feeling adventurous, even then don't do stuff like that unless you are very confident that you can pull it off. So that is like, you know, learn to walk before you do bungee jumping kind of thing. You can do it. But you have to be convincing in doing that. You can take like really unusual phrases and present a raga. There are people who do that. It's like a lot more accepted, a lot more safe. Accepted, when I say accepted, I mean it is, people are used to, you know, listening to that. It's like, it's a sense of, so one of my gurus always used to say, when you play, you have to let the audience breathe along with you. You know, like which means if I am breathless and I'm like I have a big lung capacity, I shouldn't keep playing. I should know where to stop so that they can breathe. You know, he says in Tamil, "Nee vaasthinaarukappa moochu poida vidadhu, moochu edukradhukku time kodukkanum appadina." So that was a very, you know, like pertinent point which I hadn't thought until then. Because then you are actually thinking about, okay, this is a point where if I break, then there is that sense of, okay, now I'm ready for the next phrase kind of thing. You know, those things are very important when you are thinking in terms of performance. So connecting with the audience and seeing how they react is very important. And a balance of like how fast or slow you sing also really matters. You can, so a reasonably good template is where you build a ragam slowly, you know, finish all your sancharas, upper octaves, come back to sa, do your like fast phases, parans, whatever, and then come back and finish it. So how do you do this? Is by taking like few notes at a time. So take the upper sa. So what do you do after that? So something simple. So you can build an entire story with just this. Same thing, I'm doing the same. So this is like again like 7 or 8 notes. You can do it with much smaller number of notes. Take that. See what you can do. You'll be really surprised of how many patterns you can create. Of course, like very rarely do I do a sing a ga or something like that. So with this, if you start like pushing slowly, then you will find that you are able to actually create a lot of exercises. If you get stuck, try patterns. Da ma ba da ba da ni za ma ni da ba da ma ba da ni za ma ni da ba ma da ba ni za. So again, it's just like I'm adding 2, 3 at a time, 2 notes, 3 notes, triplets, quadruplets, whatever. So within that, you can actually, create so many different patterns. And Swaram is actually like a lot easier. Let's say, so, are you able to hear the metronome? Yes. See, again, take anything. Let's say Aditana. Okay. Any Raaga, what Raaga? Vrindavan. Let's say Vrindavan. Or Mohan. Simple. Mohan. Ga re sa da sa re pa ga. So let's say ga is the landing point. Okay. And you take like 4 notes. Sa re ga pa. Da pa ga re sa da sa re ga. Okay, these notes. So this is like, let's say, first beat. With this, what can you do? Ba ba ga re ga ga sa re ga re ga sa da sa re ga sa re ga. Try to land on ga on any of the sound. It doesn't. You can make it more complicated for yourself once you get comfortable. Okay. So like either the samam or the arathi, anywhere. So. Do you want to sing along or something like that, or you're just fine listening here? You have to say something. I'm bored of listening to my own voice. Want to sing along? No? No? Create patterns? Yes? No?
Sing along.
Sing along. Okay. So let's say. Gari gari sa da sa re ga re 4. Gari gari sa da sa re ga ba re ga sa re ga ga ba re ga sa re ga 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 re sa re ga 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 re sa re ga sa re ga sa re ga. I just stop here. So the thing is, see what we just did. No, it's easy, right? I mean, all of you sang, nothing complicated. All of you can sing swarams. All of you can sing ragas. It's quite easy. If you if you observe what we are doing, what I just did here is simple set of notes, but play around with the spaces in between notes. Sa re ga, sa re ga. Let's say there is something like this. What can you do instead of singing so many notes? Sa re ga, sa re ga. Increase the space between the notes. So that is called syncopation, right? You how the notes sit with the tempo. So you can make the space longer, smaller, fill it with more notes. Sa re ga ga sa re ga. So that's like filled with notes. I have filled every space. 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1. Simple. 1 2 1 2. Okay, that's all. The same thing. Ga re sa da sa re ga. So again, I'm playing with the syncopation. Sa re ga. So try stuff like that. Try like making a note longer, making a note sa re ga. That's one. And you can use all these variations in a continuous space. So, like for example, you same set of notes, but a long avarthanam. Okay. Only I'm going to sing. Ga ga re sa re da sa re ga sa re ga sa re ga ga re sa re ga ga sa re ga. No, that's all. Just sa re ga. I don't think I used any other notes. Only 3 notes. So you can, and what I'm doing here is like playing with the combination. Sa re sa ga sa re ga ga sa re ga re. So you can create so many patterns with just this. Okay, and why I think this really works is because first of all, with a fewer number of notes, you are not overwhelmed with what to do next. Okay, like, and if you get stuck, you can try different patterns. Sa re ga, so same thing. Sa re ga ga re, and you can work with the gamakam also. Ga re re. So within those two notes, there are so many possible gamakam. Like play, you can sing one playing, one with like gamakam starting from ga, one with. We have like, you know, the biggest advantage of our music is, you know, the concept of gamakam. So gamakam is like a most of you might have heard of, like, I mean, you know physics, right? It's like a cloud of possibility. The electron exists around the nucleus in a cloud, not in a particular space. So gamakams are like that. You know, it's a cloud between this note and this note. Depending on what ragam we are singing, it can be a cloud of possibility. So we can do like a lot of things with that, especially in a ragam like Mohanam. Ga re ga sa re ga re ga sa re sa re. So 3 sa re is one gamakam. Sa re. So we even just playing around with the gamakam, you give different, you know, patterns. The same thing you can, you know, once you do this, increase the number of notes. Take that. Land on some, maybe pa. Okay, so I think we have to start the concert now. So anyway, I'll just quickly talk about like second speed also. So the same thing with second speed. If you, let's say this is like 90 tempo. Again, like take small phrase. Within that. So if you land on ga, what happens is you know where to come back to ga, where to be prepared to land on ga. Okay, and it is easier when you take lesser number of notes because you are close by. Okay, if you take the whole ragam, then you might be on like upper pa or upper ga, and then landing on lower ga might be like a, you know, trapezium, you know, like trapeze act or something like that. So when you take smaller portions, then when you do the whole ragam or play for a song or whatever, then it becomes easy. You know, you are familiar to like coming back to that point. You know, like for example. So I have a student, I'm teaching him Pavana Guru now. Pavana Guru Pavana Pura Dikshamasraye. So let's say second speech for him, sir. So Sarigamadani Pavana. So he asked me, how do I know when to land? Where to start? You know, like how do I know what I'm singing is enough or what I'm playing is enough? But that is the sensibility you have to get. Like, are you done with like smaller, like how do you talk to somebody? You don't like start telling them your life story. You know, the minute you see them, you say hello, hi, whatever. What do you do? What do I do? I do here, I live in, I go on, I do this. And then if you get to know them, so it's the same thing with Swaram also. You start with small thing. Sariga madani pavana guru madamagariga madani pavana guru. So let's say sa, it starts on sa. Dari sariga ma, you can do that also. But to be sure, keep one note as the ending. Madamaga maridamaga madagamaga madani pavana guru. Now how do I know that? I know, okay, I've done with like one round of like 1 avarthanam swarams. Now I want to do 2. So madamaga madani dari dari sani dari madani pa. So when I am singing the second avarthanam, I'm kind of mentally prepared to know that I'm going to end on sa. So I have to be somewhere around that. I can't be like sanida sanida marida maga 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 sanida madani. Ah, I can't do it, you know. I mean, it's great when Balamurli Garu does it. He can connect any note to any note because he's precise in Shruti and he brings that vocal quality into it. But it won't sound nice when everybody does it. So what you do is, either you get prepared to land at that point, or if you're not there, sing a couple of avarthanam extra. You know, if you are in the lower octave and you want to land, okay? Da da ni da ma ga ma da ma da ga da ma ga ma ga ga re re sa ni. You want to land, but you are sani, you are there. But you want to go sa, you have to go there. Da ni sa re ga ma da ni sa re ga ni sa ni da ma da ni pa ma na. That's all. It took 1 avarthanam extra. Few extra, 2 beats extra, 3 beats extra. So don't get flustered that, oh, I have to finish, what do I do? You know, it's okay, it doesn't matter. Just 1 hour, just a couple of beats extra. So when you allow yourself to be free like that and think, okay, now I have to go there and I'm here. So how do I do that? Or you can do it when you are singing. Like you want to sing one long avarthanam. You can start ga 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 ri sa ri ga ma da ma ga ma ga ri sa ri ma ga ri ma ga ri sa ri sa da ri sa ri ma ga ma ri sa ri ga ma da sa da ma ga ma da ri da ni da ni ma da ni ma ni da ni ma da ga ma ni da ma ga ma da ma ga ma ga ri ma ga ri sa ri ga ri ma ga da ma ni da ri ga ri ma ga ri sa ri da sa ni da ma ga ma da ni ri pa. If you want, you can sing extra also, nothing wrong with that. So how long is again dependent on how bored people look. You know, how engaged you are able to keep them. But when you practice, you can practice like as many avarthanams as you want. But the best way to do is fix some point. Even if the lyrics are a little daunting for you, like, oh, I have to take the lyric, you're conscious of that, just land on a note. Concentrate on landing on a note. Okay, and think in terms of the duration rather than in terms of number of avarthanams. Especially in a ragam, I mean a talam like rupagam, which goes really fast, you can't like really count avarthanams. So think in terms of what you are trying to say. It's like a conversation. Like you are done with what you wanted to say, then you let the other person speak. It is going to be the violin or whatever, mridangam or something like that. So if you think in terms of that, I think it will be little easy to plan. I think I have to start playing now, otherwise Balakrishnan is going to smack me because come all the way from Stuttgart for this. So I'll play. If there's anything you want to ask in between, I'll try to answer. I hope this was like useful in some way for you. Thanks for not asking a lot of questions. There's always a challenge of what works. So that's what I've done today. I've picked a list that I think will work. You tell me if it works. The next time I'll pick a list that doesn't work. And tell me your work. So that is strict cutoff. Strict cutoff. Become like a radio concert. Now I'll show you how to plan a 1 hour concert exactly. This is what happens in All India Radio. They keep showing from the booth. They do all this magic kind of thing. They do all this oh okay, 4 days. That's what we want to do now. This Krithi is called padamae, gathi, Nalina Kanti. It's Jain research Krithi. Bhagavata. you know what ragam that is? Most of the work is that. See, that's why it's so easy. Amsaradam, Bantu, reethi, koluvu, gathi. I can complete 2 songs or 1 song. You want 1 or 2? 2. 7:30, see, I can't do anything. I'm asking you, 7:32. Okay? I'll give you a choice. Do you want to listen to Brahman okate or Venkatachala Nilayam or Chinnanjani Kliye, Alayapagide, Manasantagade, Govardhanagiri you will be able to understand your against Fine. So we're starting and ending with the same raga.
அப்படி பார்த்தீங்கன்னா
Umaji for coordinating the whole thing, and thanks to all the organizers. This is very last minute. I was not supposed to perform here, so thanks to all their coordination and interest and help. We could perform today. Thanks to Balakrishna for and finally, thanks to all of you. I hope this was an enjoyable evening for you, and I hope the workshop also helped you in some way. And this is how you plan a concert. If you like it, then this is how you plan it. And this is how you should run it. So hope to see you all again very, very soon, and please keep this lovely tradition and this great art alive by showing interest. And next time, if you want something more special, please let me know. It will be great to see you all. Thank you.
Thank you.
For being here and taking us to different trance of Carnatic Flute music, and we also thank Dr. Balakrishna ji also. He came all the way from Stuttgart just for this one of the performance. He came all the way from India. That's sorry, but he coming from Stuttgart is a very big deal. But just this one, we are very, very thankful, and it really added to your performance. So, and SVK is very, very proud to be here, organize this event amongst us all, and we look forward for many more events like this, and we look forward for all your encouragement as well. Coming in this great gathering is very nice. And also, I'll take this opportunity to thank Dr. Ramakrishnan ji for helping us to organize this. Without her, it was not possible. And thank you very much. And our priest would like to felicitate Dr. Vijay Gopal ji and also Dr. Balakrishnan ji. Please. Yeah. Dr. Balakrishnan, please. Anyone interested to sing Arathi song?
Shri Mahalakshmi Neeraja Yamunaku Neerajanam 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 Shrirabdi kanyakaku Shri Mahalakshmi Neeraja Yamunaku Neerajanam 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 Jalajakshi Mumunaku Jakkavaku Chanbulaku Jalajakshi Mumunaku Jakkavaku Chanbulaku Nelakunna Kappurapu Neerajanam Alivedi Turumunaku Hastakamalam Bulaku Alivedi Turumunaku Hastakamalam Bulaku Niluvu Maanikyamula Neerajanam Niluvu Maanikyamula Neerajanam Neerajanam Neerajanam.
This occasion, on behalf of SVK, thank you very much again for performing. And some of the appreciation to Dr. Balakrishnan ji as well. Thank you very much.
శ్రీమద్రమాత్రమణ గోవింద